what's going on, YouTubers? Just a quick traditional archery, whether you're new to it or thinking about getting into it. Just a little 101 on the different types of traditional archery bows. Start off with the Selfbow. A Selfbow is typically a single stave or one piece of wood or maybe two pieces of wood that have been formed together in the handle. Here I've got an Osage stave that is backed with some diamondback snake skins. Pretty flat bow, great shooting bow. Like I said, all done by hand, Selfbow. And then we've got the Longbow. This one's got a little bit of reflex in it, and we'll talk about that in a minute. Longbows can be one piece, two piece, or three. Typical two pieces that will hinge in the handle or have a bevel or some type of mechanism that's usually covered by the handle wrap. And these can be laminates. They're glue. They are laminates. Glue up. Anyway, Longbow. And then the third is a Recurve. And I'll hold on to this one quite a bit longer as we'll talk about the differences in some of the terminology that you hear or may have heard and wondering what it is. And so Recurve, it gets its name from the pronounced curve at the end of the tip. So this is the reflex. So some of the terminology that come with a bow, obviously Recurve. And we got reflex on this end and typical deflex here. So when you hear someone say reflex, deflex in a Longbow or Recurve, this one's got a little bit of both. This is what we would maybe consider borderline hybrid. As far as a Longbow, if it's a Longbow and you string that bow, that string really never touches the limb. It braces up in what we call like a D shape. Whereas a Recurve, when I string this up, I've still got string contact on both ends of the limbs. So anyway, Recurve, reflex, the deflex is here. Now we'll move up just a little bit. So this is our riser, this handle, what some would call a handle. It's formerly called a riser. These are the limbs. This is a three-piece takedown. Okay, and in that riser, obviously we have the grip. Those are our hand placement. We've got the sight window, and you've heard that. So this is a pretty small sight window, not for attaching sights or anything like that. It's just what you see visually downrange. And then looking a bit closer, we've got what we call the arrow shelf or rest, and then the arrow plate or strike plate. All right. So when you hear that terminology, arrow rest, strike plate, you know what we're looking at. All right, some of these are flat, and then some of them have a radius design. This one's, in this Longbow, has got a pretty good radius, so it drops off in that. It's got kind of a small window. A Recurve is typically cut to center, so what that means is the arrow is going to rest in the center of the grip. Some Longbows can be cut to center, or they're pretty close. And then on the other, like the Selfbow and other Longbows, I've actually built a shelf out on this one, and some guys and gals don't even have this. They're just shooting straight off the side of the riser or handle. Alright, so the most confusing part for me when I first got into this years ago was the back and the belly. So this is the back of the bow. Even though it's the front of the bow, this is the back of the limb. This is the belly of the limb. So when you hear people talk about they're backing their bow or the back of their bow, when they're backing it, they're putting a material on the back of the limb, where to me it's the front. But anyway, that's my own thing. Like I said, this one's backed in snakeskin, and there you can do sinew and rawhide and typical snakeskin. So anyway, back of the bow, belly of the bow. All right. I think that's about it for terminology. I've got a cheat sheet over here. We talked about the Selfbow rest, the back, belly, shelf, riser, strike plate, arrow plate, and the sight window. Until next time.